Okay, don't touch it. It's that dial again. We want it right here. This is SEIU Says, every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock to 7:25, available to you. I'm Joanna Misnik. We're doing the show for our members, working people in Chicago, and working people all around the world. Our guest this evening is my boss. So be cool. This is Christine Boardman, president of Local 73. She's been on before.
Once.
So she's, once or twice. She's a veteran. And we decided to continue our high-powered, high-rating shows by bringing on another big personality. So Christine is with us this evening to take your calls. We're open to anything you want to talk about within legal and non-pornographic reason. But we do have a topic, and I will introduce it. You can call 738-1060. I see you already are. One time I came on here with Sister Sandy, and we said, boy, we took a road show, and we tried to tell you where we went, and you started calling up. We could never finish the story. We went to see her, Christine Boardman, testify at an Illinois legislative hearing on whether or not to sell the tollway. So this is big. It's not, even if you don't ride the tollway, this is an important topic. So we're going to allow Christine to finish our story. You were on that road show as well.
Yes,
you
I
took
was.
that trip. What is this business of selling the tollway and public-private partnerships? And what does it mean to a public sector union?
Well, it's something that actually goes on all over the world. Unfortunately, what we're seeing happen right now is that it's migrating here to the United States.
Uh-oh.
In particular, our very own lovely mayor has gone ahead and started to sell off large portions of the city of Chicago.
Yep.
That includes Chicago Skyway, as well as Midway Airport, and I'm sure that everybody just read about the standard parking garages.
Gone, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Overnight.
Overnight.
We don't get a chance to vote on that, do we? Or our aldermen don't get a
Well,
chance.
he tends to do things a little bit behind the scenes. He basically declares them by fiat, and then they're done. Luckily for us, at least on the state level, they're having some open discussions about it, and we've been taking an active part in that. And that specifically includes the possible lease of the Illinois tollway system. And we're opposed to that because from our point of view, this is an essential piece of infrastructure that pays for itself. Not only does it pay for itself, but it is the second most profitable tollway system in the United States.
No, we should just give it away, right?
Well, you know, what you'd be giving it away to is to a private sector company that would be wanting to generate more profits. The only way they can generate more profit from something that is already profitable is by charging people more for it. It's not going to come out of the thin air.
So the higher the tolls, the higher the profit.
That's right.
That's
what it
a
basically comes
no-brainer
down
even
to.
for me, right? Right. So that's the. Meanwhile, our legislatures who are sort of looking into this are sort of. Don't you think they're sort of looking at things in a very short-term manner? They're saying, you know, we need to balance the budget today now, you know, and not looking at 10 years down the road.
Right. In fact, what they seem to be looking at is that, and this isn't true of the entire legislature, some of them say, if we have to do this, it has to be done only because we really need the capital and we're going to use it in a significant fashion to aid the entire state, not to fix a budget problem, not to go ahead and plug a hole, because it's like selling your furniture off one piece at a time.
Right,
Pretty soon you're going to have an empty house.
And then you're in debtor's prison, remember that?
That's right.
Hello, you're on the air. Hello.
Now they sell. Before they was raising pension plans. Now selling state assets. All they really doing instead of facing the problem, they just passing the buck on to the next person, and they don't have to worry about it. You know, somebody else gonna have to deal with the problem later on, and when we get so far down the hole.
You got that right. They can only serve 2 terms, right?
Now, luckily for us, Governor Blagojevich has actually given us a signed letter and has made public statements stating that he is currently against the privatization of the Illinois toll system, that he thinks that it's running just fine and it's, you know, making money, and it does not need to be turned into a privatized public-private partnership.
Okay, we got another call. Hello, you're on the air.
Yes, I want to make a couple of points. There are a number of different issues in play here. Number one, for the citizens of the state of Illinois, especially those of us who live in and around the Chicagoland area, and we were promised decades ago that once the toll roads were paid off, that there wouldn't be any more toll roads. But obviously, because of the sort of tax and spend attitude that we've had, you know, all the money that goes in addition to maintaining the toll roads, also goes for other spending. So there's never going to be a time when we're not going to be paying, even though we were promised that. Having said that, I think you're absolutely correct. this sort of one-time influx, infusion of revenue is a great idea if you're running for re-election. If you're not, down the road, obviously. Now, you and I, again, I've said this before, if we're trying to balance our budget as individuals in our household and thinking about not just where we're at when we're in our 30s, but 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, then we wouldn't have this sort of policy initiative. But again, when you're only serving a limited period of time, and Blagojevich campaigned on the following: I'm not going to raise taxes. I'm also going to have this tremendous influx of revenue into various institutions, including education and so forth. And so how can you possibly do that mathematically? The answer is that you've either got to go into debt or you're going to have to sell off something.
Okay, Steve. Hello, you're on the air.
Hello, yes.
Yeah.
I work for the custodial department, and so far I haven't got any information about our contract.
Which custodial department?
For the county.
Okay.
Oh, well, we're still currently in negotiations with the county. In fact, we have 3 dates with them later on this month. And what the issues primarily are in front of us is that the economic offer that they have on the table is still insufficient for us. And I believe that it would be for you as well, because it's not even just about the across-the-board raises. It's also about what's going to happen with additional step increases, which I know in particular the custodial department would like to see increased and added to their pay schedule, as well as like the language that's in the contract. And just recently there's been some additional threats once again, and this has been gone on previously, about the possible privatization of some of the sheriff custodial services, which we are dramatically opposed to.
Right. We remember that, right?
That's right.
Every once in a while they start. Let's talk about what the county workers can do to protect their future. Very soon, October 25th, if you have not voted by mail for the County Pension Fund Board, we have a candidate we're recommending to you. His name is Clem Balanoff. He's over there. He's in charge of all the elections. He's busy now because we have early voting, which we'll mention. And October 25th, from, I believe, early in the morning, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., you go down to room 885 at 118 North Clark Street. Flash your ID, and you get to vote for Clem Balanoff. He's our choice for someone who can protect and improve the county pensions.
And that's very important, because there is not a single regular county employee that sits on that county pension board. And Clem would at least be a voice for the regular working person in Cook County. Quite frankly, the current board is essentially populated by various high-level officials, and anybody who's tried to ever collect pension disability benefits will know the high rate of decline on those.
They're not really responding.
No, they're not. They're not really responding to people's needs.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hello?
Hi.
Yes, I had a question about defined benefit pension plans and whether they're going to be able to be saved for the next generations of service workers in the municipal sectors.
Well, that's a very good question.
Excellent question.
Unfortunately, defined benefit pensions plans are actually being attacked across the country, and it was originally started by a lot of these private sector companies. You've seen one airline after another. What's the first thing that they tried to do when they went into bankruptcy? They destroyed people's pensions. And so then the logic is that, well, if the private sector doesn't have it anymore, why should public employees?
Yeah.
Well, the fact of the matter is that what's not looked at enough at Illinois is that we're one of the 13 states in the country where if you can't collect a full Social Security benefit and also a full public pension benefit unless you currently pay into full Social Security. That's true for one public fund, and that's IMRF, but that's not true like for the county fund, so that if you were going to collect a $2,000 benefit at on a monthly basis, and you also had qualified for Social Security, and you were going to get a minimum benefit of $1,000, you'd only collect possibly something like $400, right?
They'd reduce you.
They would reduce you.
I see.
And then in general, because
why should somebody live on over $15,000 a year once they're 65, right?
Right. It
Well, who
basically
needs
is tearing up the entire safety net
Yes.
of working people,
Yes.
and they're counting on their pensions. And we actually need to make sure that the public pension funds that we have stay intact and be well funded. And that has not been true recently, but we actually do have a plan for that, and a number of the different labor unions have been getting together to form a coalition as to what we can do to further protect our defined benefit plans so that we can have it for the next generation and the generation after that.
And possibly extended back into the public sector at some point. Hello, you're on the air. Hello. Okay, never mind. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello.
So, do you honestly think you'll ever get rid of those political hacks on the pension boards by re-electing Blagojevich? That's ridiculous.
Well, actually, it's not Blagojevich that's on the pension board. I'm not quite sure which board are you
He's
referring
gone.
to. Well, in any event, Blagojevich is not
Anyway,
on
aren't
the
you one of
county.
those hacks?
Actually, I happen to be a trustee on a public pension fund.
Here you go, Miss
and-
Hack.
Right.
One of the first women ever to go on one of them, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And actually, and it's on the State University Retirement System Board, and it's a very important place to be. It actually manages more than $14 billion in assets. And we do need to go ahead and continue to fund those pension plans. Now, the agreement is that Blagojevich has agreed that he is going to continue to fund the pension systems in the future, and I think that he recognizes that it was not such a smart idea to try to decrease the amount of their contribution to the
Or
pension
take that
funds.
holiday that they took, which we opposed, right?
Right, but the fact of the matter was, and it's important to recognize that was going on for 25
yeah.
years of
absolutely.
underfunding. 25
Right.
years.
He was just following the pack, That was the standard op. Need money? Take it out of the pension plan.
Well, actually, I don't think that's the only reason that he did it. But in this particular event,
No, but I mean, it was
Right.
it was legitimated by previous administrations. That you did
that's
that.
right.
Right. And again, I think the caller who says they're only in power or in office for, a few years, that creates a short-sightedness. Let the other folks deal with this. It's not a generational view. At
Well,
all.
it was the entire General Assembly that had come up with the entire ramp that they were supposed to sufficiently fund the pension funds, and then at their first opportunity, they abandoned it.
He ran down the ramp, back down the ramp, and
They
went
ran-
home.
Right.
Oh my God.
And so that really means not just holding the governor's feet, to the fire, but actually making sure like that all politicians are accountable because,
Right.
quite frankly, they all passed it.
Wow.
That was
Yes.
the House as well as the Senate.
Right. Hello, you're on.